Welcome, everybody, one and all. This is the 50th episode of the Unbanned podcast, and we should probably have a celebration going on, but we're not. It's just number 50. Congrats to us.
We're saving it for 52 because that would technically be like a year. It's 52 weeks.
It's also only the 10th one of us, not doing Magic the Gathering. So anyway, video games. Talk about video games here, right?
Yo,
Do we?
I think so.
Can I reference this fact? Hey, so we used to do Magic the Gathering stuff. Can I reference something that happened in Magic this week?
Sure.
They announced, so they did the streamer event for the new set Zendikar Rising. They have announced a banned and restricted announcement. The set is not even out in paper yet.
Yeah.
And they are announcing a ban. Most likely they're gonna ban all the broken ramp cards because they've been broken for months and they haven't banned them, and then they released more broken ramp cards.
Games are getting bad.
Hold on. By the way, you remember that comic shop we went to, and I was talking to Josh, our big brother. By the way, our big brother's name is Josh. I'm Jake. He's Jordan. That's Justin, and our big brother is named Josh. There's lots of J's around.
Yeah, yes. our big brother Josh.
Well, our big brother.
This is my big brother Justin.
Yeah, he's not our brother. He's just.
I'm younger than you. What are you talking about?
I know.
Anyway, I should probably introduce everyone, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, so you know how I was looking at his prices on physical Magic cards, and I'm like, he's charging this. The owner of this shop is charging $10 for a promo that's like maybe 10 cents online. Like it was insane markup on these promos.
It's a promo that's like 5 years old. It was a standard card no one played with.
That doesn't matter either. The big thing is that these promos are given to shops to give out for free with events. Oh, we lost Jordan. This is going to happen a lot. This might be a wash. We might have to redo this. Welcome back.
Hello, stream.
Don't worry, just ignore it when it happens. It's the nature of running a live show. We got this. That's okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
it happens on the Austin show all the fucking time, and that guy makes millions.
I don't know who that is, but great to hear.
He's the guy who does Lover Host on Twitch.
Oh,
he gets like 200K viewers when he streams. It's insanity.
Anyway, so they give you these promos as a WPN store to put on events. You're not supposed to sell them. It could actually get you kicked out. Are you doing that on purpose?
No.
Is your light just dying?
Yeah, I think the light bulb's messing
Justin's
up.
getting abducted over here.
Podcast listeners, my light is going haywire. I think it finally.
Yeah, his light is flickering really bad right now.
We did it.
Funny.
This is just like the technical issues podcast. That's gonna be the title.
I would say it's more like trying to set off fireworks in our celebration of our 50th.
The shop was selling these promos that they get for free to run events with, and I'm like, that's not part of the program. You're not supposed to do that. And then I realized they were selling the new set. They had packs out of the new set. It's not out yet. This person running this game store, this comic book store, just does not give a fuck.
Just does not give a shit.
So last second before we get into the intros, is it bad that now physical card games are running the same motto as video games, where they just release a broken mess to start and then they just patch it out after?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Magic that's doing that, really.
Yeah, Magic is the only... I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh's been doing that for years.
I mean, I don't want to go down the Magic rabbit hole, but I was talking about this on Twitter today because everyone's freaking out because, banned and restricted is going, and that's how I know about it, because I still follow people in the Magic sphere. And everyone's like, wow, this is so shocking. I'm like, no, it's really not that shocking. And everyone's like, wow.
Oh no, he's gone again.
Motherfucker. Anyway, I'm like, no, they set out to do exactly what they set out to do. BNR, or not BNR, R&D did nothing wrong. The design team, they did exactly what they meant to. They said it. They're like, we're going to push power level. They push power level. This is what happens when you push power level. You can't always balance it all. You have to pull resources from somewhere.
They took a page out of Chris Redfield's book.
Yeah.
They're like, let's push this power level into boulder. And then he's like, you know what? Just going to
punch it. Yeah.
These are terms that aren't going to make any sense to anyone who doesn't play Magic, but it's like...
Or Resident Evil.
When they say to us, like, oh, we're going to push power level, like, oh, we're going to get Lightning Bolt, we're going to get Titans, we're going to all these fun cars that people remember from like
Tickets, items.
5 years ago, and then they're like, no, we're gonna give you memory jar.
Yeah, that's basically what they did.
And
It's
everyone's like, no one wants that. No one wants one card to be the only thing you play in the whole game. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm gonna do intros because we're already way in. This is Justin.
Who's
He's
this guy?
really
No,
cool.
him first.
This
Him
is-
first. Him first.
This
No,
is
him
Jordan.
first.
This is
him
Jordan.
first, sorry.
That's
Him first.
that's Gizmo, the cat
Him.
back there somewhere.
Oh, he's down by my feet. He keeps meowing at me because he loves me. He's like, play with me.
Play with me. This is a
Play.
listen, audio listeners. This can be a mess of a show for you. I'm really sorry. We'll do our best to clean it up in post.
I blame Jake.
You can blame me. Yeah, sure. I'm not
Doing
Okay,
gonna
it
I'll
right
just,
now.
since we keep
Take
getting
your-
distracted, I'll just do my own intro. What's up, everyone? I'm Is It Fox? ISITFOX. We changed it. I'm also known as Jordan here on the cast. It's pretty much the only place I go by my name, actually. What's up? How y'all doing? All right,
Hey,
Justin,
Jake.
your turn.
I'm just gonna.
Hey Jake,
leave.
want to start our own podcast?
Yeah. We'll kick it.
Yeah.
Then we won't
Yeah.
have this
Also,
fun.
You
remember
can
to
have your-
like, comment, and subscribe.
Have your Is It podcast, and me and Jake will start our own
I'm
podcast.
gonna
called
call
the-
it. I'm gonna
the-
call it the Curiosity Lab. Patent pending, and I'm just gonna do like experiments in games. I'm
We're
find
gonna-
glitches and
yeah.
stuff.
We're gonna make our own podcast. We're gonna call it the Game Theory Podcast.
Has he made that yet? Has he made a
I don't
game?
think so.
I don't think he has.
We
He
need to
does
jump
live-
on it,
live
guys.
shows.
We can really get the scoop on it.
We steal an IP like that.
You realize how bad that is, because the thing is, if he ever decides to make a game theory podcast, then you're just gonna get beat out of the traffic, right?
No,
Because
No,
he's
we
bigger.
get paid out of the traffic.
Because before he makes the Game Theory podcast, we will get all of the traffic for the Game
Maybe
Theory
that's the reason he
podcast.
hasn't made a pod. Maybe someone already did it based on like game theory. the
yeah,
the theory of like,
The thing is, he
optimizing
has
stuff.
the channel Game Theory. So if you type in Game Theory, you usually get him. But I guarantee if you type into like Apple Podcasts Game and Theory, you're gonna get a billion things.
Okay, here's what we can do. I can link this back to video games.
What?
We get the patent, right? No, we get the copyright to Game Theory Podcast.
Okay.
Justin, what the
Okay.
fuck's a
Then-
video game?
So, and then because Game Theory's people are like, let's look at copyrights every 25 seconds because Scott Cawthon does that. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, everybody looks up his,
Oh, it's
His copyrights, yeah.
The FNAF thing. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
that's fair.
So we're going to do that. And because that's what their viewers do, they're going to be like, oh my God, Matt Pat's starting his own podcast. And then they're going to pressure him to actually make his own podcast.
And then he'll have to
Sell
buy
the
the
name back to
domain
him.
from us.
Now, this,
I'm kidding. We're not gonna patent troll anyone. That's fucked up.
yeah, no, that's messed up. But
Yeah, no.
this links to a copyright that got issued like a week ago or something like that, where apparently they're doing Let's Go, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver.
Really?
Yeah, because Heart Gold and Soul Silver got copyrighted by Nintendo.
Interesting.
And they're like, oh, they're going to make a new. Hey,
Oh, yeah,
Jake,
that's really...
Jake, how about you talk about video games? You freaking weeb with your waifu and your.
It's One Piece. I'm reading One Piece.
I'm
fucking weebs.
I'm looking at sports like a cool kid.
Hey, you want to talk about
What
video
if-
games, Justin?
I just did.
Jordan, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing RuneScape as per usual. Some
Yeah.
Legends of Runeterra.
Runeterra, yeah.
Because I'm boring. Been playing more
We know.
Hades. That's been getting more,
Yeah.
more
Hades,
traffic
that's a good game.
recently
I
since the
bought that
1.0
today.
update. It's fantastic. You know,
Probably
Shout out to
playing it.
Hades.
I really hope that they have a Hades racing league. They did a Binding of Isaac racing league.
Oh, yeah, that'd
like
be
a
cool.
long time ago. Yeah, the
Oh, I
Boulder
was-
Award.
I thought you were talking about like a kart racer.
Yeah, no,
No.
I want
Based on
to
it.
race in the game. Yeah, because I think it'd be a lot of fun to speedrun that game. I really like speedrunning roguelikes. So, and then I could stream it and it would be fun. Anyway, so I really hope that keeps blowing up. I saw a Pokimane asking if she should buy it and stream it. I'm like, yes, do. That way more people will buy it. Then we'll become more popular. And
Yeah.
then we can do the Hades Racing League, the HRL, the Hurl.
The Hurl.
That's what I do, and I play the game. Oh,
But you've never played it.
Hurl?
exactly. I don't like throwing up. so I'm not
It's a
going to
good
play it.
game. It's
Why
a
would I want to
real
play
good game.
Hades?
I don't
Hades.
understand. It's really good, dude. Like it's a really good game. You should definitely give it a shot.
And you take a dump on me because I say the same thing about Resident Evil 6.
I will
Resident Evil
definitely
6
try and play it in 6 months when I remember to go and play it.
As part of our 52nd episode special, or 1 year, I will give Right Up a 10-minute review of Resident Evil 6 based on the Leon storyline that I have played so far. And I can promise you, I will convince Justin that it is a piece of shit.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, guys.
At 100 patrons, can we get Jordan to write a fan fiction for Resident Evil 6?
Maybe for 100. Maybe.
So you said something that I have to ask. We did not exactly 52 episodes is not a year from when we started the podcast.
No, it did not. But we need to celebrate a year.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna go check really quick.
We don't need this technical garbage.
Quiet.
The numbers
later.
do.
Let's talk about what Justin played this week.
What did I play this week? Okay, Jake, what did you play this week?
No, Justin, what did you play this week?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Hold on, there we go.
Oh, okay.
What even happened?
I thought he was going to get a prop like a hammer or something, like smash.
How did you do that?
I have, thinking of Magic the Gathering, I have a folded Magic the Gathering card, which is my cover. Oh, bye, Jordan.
Well, we lost Jordan again.
Yeah, I folded a Magic the Gathering card to make a cover for my camera because I didn't want to pay $10 for an actual cover.
See, I can do that too. It's just I don't need a cover. I just do that. What just happened just now?
Yeah, but then that doesn't cover when I'm like gawking at Resident Evil 6 on my computer.
I'm just gonna turn off the overlay for this week. I think that's gonna be cleaner.
Yeah.
So Jake, what have you been playing this week?
Oh,
did you say what you'd been playing this week?
Well, we don't care about me. We've made this clear.
No, you tell me right now while I figure out when we upload our first episode.
Lots of Spyro, lots of I've been playing the Spyro trilogy, been playing Crash Bandicoot trilogy. Man, is it today? Or was it yesterday?
It was the 5th.
Is what was?
We missed our year anniversary.
Anniversary.
It's the 5th. You just said it.
Oh. Well, I'm celebrating.
I was about to say
2 weeks from now, so there.
Yeah.
Let's say I could have found that way easier. You want to know how?
How?
I'm going to type... Oh, I spelled that wrong. I'm going to type in... Yeah, it's pretty close. I typed in Stoneforge Mystic Unbanned.
Yeah. That was such a day of hope and happiness for me.
My God, I was so fucking happy.
So yeah, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. Have I played anything else? Oh, Resident Evil 4. 4. You hear that, Jordan? 4.
Do you play games besides Resident Evil, Justin?
No. There's no other good games out there.
Good play Hades. That's a lot like Resident Evil.
It's nothing like Resident Evil.
You shoot things. It's really fun.
Wow, shocking.
You even
hear that, guys?
boulders.
You hear that, guys? Call of Duty is exactly like Resident Evil.
Call of Duty is exactly like Resident Evil 6.
No.
The quality's not the same.
I got him. I fucking triggered him. I got him.
Get out of here.
I would rather play the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare over Resident Evil 6 pretty much every day of the week, by the way.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Your disdain for it is kind of like my love for it. It's like if I say,
no,
this part was good, you're like,
is rational in that I spent hours expecting to kind of have like an okay experience.
You did. You were laughing the entire time.
Yeah, but look, okay, there's a difference between like nervous laughter and like laughter at like a nice good joke, It's like sometimes you laugh because this situation makes me grossly uncomfortable and I don't know how to cope with this. I have anxiety. And
then there's when you play Resident
really
Evil
is.
6. But then you play Resident Evil 6 and you're like, wow, this game's a blast to play with a friend.
Dude,
not
honestly,
by yourself, but with a friend.
It's such I want to say this a different way, but out of respect for Jake's vision for this podcast, I will not say it the way that I wanted to. It's the most unsatisfying experience because
I want to know what part of my vision stops you from saying something about a video game.
I mean, I can message.
Do it. No, fucking do it.
All right, you think all of our...
As long as it's not against Twitch TOS, you do whatever the hell you want, dude.
I imagine playing Resident Evil 6, because I've never had this experience, is a lot like being cucked. It's like something good is held so close to you, but you can't get it. It's
but
like
that's
being,
the thing. They
it's like being
that.
really hungry and you're tied down and someone has pizza on like a fishing pole and they hold it over your mouth and they bring it down just a little bit and you go, and then they snatch it up. And then they bring it down again and then you go, no, please, I'm so hungry. And then they snatch it up again.
You get like a little dribble of grease, maybe a bit of crust on the end.
Yeah, like
you never get any topping.
Because so this is because
that's
combat,
the story.
Because that combat in that game is so good. You can tell they spent like 1,000 hours on just the combat, just designing it, making it so cool. And then they stick you in a hallway. Not a hallway with obstacles to jump around and use.
What do you mean?
It's just a hallway. And they're like, oh, okay, this combat would work really well if like things were running at you quickly all the time. And then they give the zombies fucking guns and make you use cover. And they're like, okay, we've got this stupid ass story about like the president getting infected and like Chris flies a jet. And we're not actually going to show you any of that. We're not actually going to show you any of that because we're going to break it up into chapters that intersect with each other. So you get to see moments of brilliance, but they're almost immediately interrupted by weird exposition delivered in like crossing over ways. Just it's so awful. It's so bad.
I want to give context here.
When
we were playing, there was a cutscene with Leon and Chris in the same cutscene.
Yes.
I believe it was actually the first time those two had ever been seen together in a game. Next
weird.
thing you know, we're in a cave getting attacked by a giant shark zombie. And then we get out and Chris is flying a jet.
Yeah, exactly. And
in that order. That is about...
And this is the thing, is that the other Resident Evil games do this. In Resident Evil 4, you go from village to, like, mines to, like...
No, you go to castle, then you go mines.
But it's like a gradual... It gradually leads to complete fucking bullshit.
And then there's Mike.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You don't remember Mike?
No, I don't remember Mike.
He knows a good bar. The helicopter driver.
In Resident Evil
4. You don't remember Mike?
No one remembers Mike.
You can't... Okay, spoiler alerts for, like, what, 13, 14-year-old game?
Uh-huh.
You kill Krauser, and then you go to the gauntlet, as I call it, because it's like, hey, here's 7,000-gallon guns and all this stuff. And then you get your helicopter buddy to help you out. His name's Mike. And then 15 minutes later, he's dead.
I don't think that followed the conversation.
I miss Mike. That's what I'm saying.
You and Resident Evil speedrunners going for the world record are the only people who would know that because no one else paid attention to who the fuck the helicopter driver is.
This episode's Dante Ravioli shout out is he calls out Mike all the time, and he threw 2 golden eggs on his grave one time because he was so great.
Justin, that's one guy on YouTube.
And Dante Ravioli has played that game no less than 20 times on his channel, not counting the times he played it off his channel. Like,
I remember Mike when I first
Resident Evil speedrunner.
I don't know what this episode is, man. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
I'm going to be honest here. When are we going to start to see a decline in viewers? Just because this became like a Jordan talks shit on Resident Evil 6 podcast, and I try to back it up, but it doesn't help.
Anyway. I as the person who edits these episodes, that is not Jordan's fault. There is one person in this podcast who brings up Resident Evil 6 every week. One single person, and
their name starts with a J.
It is not the guy who shits on it.
The name has 2 vowels in it.
If we ever make merch, there's the Justin one is just going to be like him dressed as Leon, and then just like the Resident Evil 6 logo in the background, and him just like gasping at it. Like
he's a big fan of Resident Evil.
I'm going to be the giraffe in the Resident Evil 6 logo.
Yeah, like that. Something like that. Anyway, just so that we don't get bogged down in that conversation again, I've
Somebody
played
will
nothing
understand
new
that
this
joke, sorry.
week. I bought some games, so next week I'm gonna have a lot to talk about. I bought Welcome to the Game, and I bought Scrutinized and Hades. Welcome to the
You're
Game.
streaming. Welcome to the Game is Scrutinized, right?
Oh,
No.
that game.
I'm not streaming them. So
Oh.
I
Are
did
you
not.
recording them?
No, I did not buy them to play them as horror games. I bought them because they have safe modes, and they seem like the type of game that I want to play and engage in the story of, but I have absolutely no interest in doing the mechanics of the game at all. I watched a couple of like Let's Players do the first little bit of each of the games, and I'm like, if I play this game on stream without it being on safe mode, I will scream. Like, I will actually yell in frustration from what I'm seeing here. Because I tried playing FNAF once, and I refunded it on Steam. Because I hated it so much. It's just like a frustration exercise, and I that's not what I play games for. But he went back and he added, I should probably explain, Scrutinized and Welcome to the Game and Welcome to the Game 2, they're all by the same developer. And they're all heavily based around the dark web and like realistic horror situations, basically. Realistic. Welcome to the Game is quite difficult. Like once you kind of get it figured out, it's not that hard. Welcome to the Game 2 looks like one of the hardest games I've ever seen. It's insanity.
Dude,
Like
if you beat that game on leap mode, you either have literally nothing else going on in your life, and that's all you did for 2 weeks, or you are superhuman. I've watched people try to do it.
Let's see, have you guys seen speedruns of that game? It's
No.
actual obnoxious. It's just totally obnoxious just watching somebody go through all of these things in this game and beat it in an hour or so.
Yeah.
Dude,
And then
I should go look that up.
Scrutinized is another, it's kind of like, it's not really a sequel to Welcome to the Game 2. I think it's kind of set in the same universe. I haven't played them, obviously. That's why I bought them. But Scrutinized was so hard he had to nerf it. Because there was literally a condition where if it happened, you would just die a few seconds later.
No, it's Welcome to the Game 2 that he did that to.
Okay.
There was to explain the gameplay of the game, you're sitting at a computer in all three of these games, and you have to complete tasks. And while you're doing them, people will try to either break into your house or like come at you. And there are people from the dark web who traced you through the internet. That's something like that. But
it
basically,
really
you have to
is
prevent
like
these. And in Welcome to the Game 2, there was a person who would come after you who you literally could not stop. It was RNG whether you died, because if they showed up, you just died.
Which character was it?
It was the Noir. In the early versions of the game,
that's
the
right.
Noir, if you saw the Noir, you just died. And then he added in the condition where if you turn away, it prevents them.
Okay, so I'm gonna describe these a little bit more because I need to explain why they sound so frustrating. So in the first game, in Welcome to the Game 1, you're sitting at your computer and you can get up, turn around, and turn off the light. And then there's also hacking mini games that you have to stop. And there's, I think, one more mechanic you have to worry about, but it's very FNAF-like. You're just kind of in your office, and you can move around a little bit and do certain things. But for the most part, once you get the mechanic figured out, you just do it, and then you're done. For Welcome to the Game 2, he made it so you can get up from your computer and go around your entire apartment complex. And you can get
pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was a great like extension of the game. I think it's really nice they did that. And like it's even to the point where you can get bitcoins basically and like buy stuff from a market, and they get delivered by drone if you go out to the alleyway and grab it. Really, really cool stuff. The problem is the actual threats of this game are fucking stupid. One of them is a hitman. The hitman can peek through. You can peek out like your front door. You have a little peephole. If you do this with a hitman around, he will shoot you through the peephole.
Because he can hear you.
Guess what? The other things that try to attack you want you to look through the peephole and see if they're on the other side. Because if you go out while they're there, you die.
Yeah. And then I think one of the worst.
I'm not even close to done. Like the one he was talking about, the Noir, it used to just kill you if you saw it. Now you have to turn around for 30 seconds, which makes it pretty trivial. But you have to remember that as well. You also have to go place little things around your apartment that get you money It's like a proxy server or something. It's really not very well explained.
It's a VPN. It's literally.
I was about to say, isn't it a VPN?
Yeah. Anyway, but you have to place them around the apartment, so it's encouraging you to leave. And I remember I was watching Markiplier play it, and he basically was like, I realized I don't need money for anything. I can, if I just do the mechanics of the game, I never have to deal with this VPN thing. And then I never have to leave my apartment either.
The mechanic that makes the game easier is actually pointless and making the game harder.
Yeah. And the game's still a motherfucker.
Well, this is something that I find interesting in games.
But by far the worst part is if you die, you start over from the very beginning.
Yeah.
No checkpoints.
At what point do you guys think that, I mean, obviously Welcome to the Game goes way past this, but I think there's something to be said for tedium and like having to repeat things in games, because sometimes it really works. Like, I mean, the most notable one is Dark Souls. Dark Souls heavily inconveniences you for failure. However, it doesn't take everything from you. You don't lose your levels. You just lose everything you had on you at the time, which is one reason why a lot of people quit Dark Souls, is they can't handle the feeling of losing their stuff. It frustrates them too much, right? I'm just like, the thing I find most insane about Welcome to the Game 2 is the amount of time you have to wait before a threat is neutralized. The Noir, you have to wait 30 seconds. The Hitman and another threat in the game, he's called the Breather, he's a serial killer, you have to wait 5 minutes to guarantee they are gone.
Of real life time.
Real life time, because it's RNG between like 1 minute and 5 of how long they'll stay and wait. So the only way to prevent it completely is to just wait the full 5 minutes. And it's not like you're waiting, hacking, and like doing things. You're sitting in the dark. Or in the case of the Breather, you're holding a door so that he can't get in. And I'm just like, these are all reasonable things to put in your horror game. But when you have to wait 5 minutes, that's when you've gone way too fucking far. Like maybe 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah,
anyway.
Like you were talking about the elite mode and how annoying that is. Same guy watched the original speed run, like just speedrunning the game about an hour, 30 minutes or something like that. Did elite mode. And there was a time in the game where, I shit you not, I believe he was in the bathroom. Like you can hide in the bathtub, basically, in the dark. He was in there for like 15, 20 minutes.
Really?
He's like, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get out of here right now. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, skipping ahead, skip ahead, skip ahead. I'm like, it's still in here. Jesus.
And that was the speed run.
That was a speed run.
Yeah, and
at what point in the speed run do you just take the death and start over because the right?
Well, because the speed run's like 4 hours or something like that.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's one of those games that I look at and I'm just like, I don't. It's something that was designed by someone who obviously has a lot of passion, and a lot of the stuff he did, I think it's a he. I think they did with the game. They're like really intelligent and they're really scary things to do, especially with the dark web aspect of like. That's the reason I want to play it on safe mode, is that the dark web part of this game is scary enough on its own to just like the atmosphere it builds is really cool.
Dude, it's so expansive and everything. I'm just like, holy shit.
And the hacking mini games are like legitimately fun too.
Yeah. Although I watched Markiplier's Let's Play of it as well, because I didn't feel like actually playing the game for myself. And he ran into one that like kind of controlled a little bit weirdly, and he lost his shit because he could not make that one game work. It was really funny to watch. But so I want to know, how does safe mode work for these games? Because that's something else that I think is interesting, is the notion of safe modes in games.
So for Welcome to the Game and Scrutinize, there are safe modes. There's not one for Welcome to the Game 2 yet. I hope he's adding one because I'd like to play that one too. But you don't have any threats. That's it. That's all that happens. As far as I understand it, the hacking minigames are still there, because the hacking minigames just trigger the threats and remove the codes. You're trying to find like a link, but it's split up into different parts in each of the games. And the hacking minigame will clear your notes and reset your stuff, basically. So it also randomizes the code. So if you want to like write it down on a physical piece of paper, that doesn't work either. But basically, like, you do the hacking minigames, and that's it. That's the whole game, is you are just doing these hacking mini games and exploring the dark web. And in Scrutinized, you have to like try to solve a murder, basically. That's the entire game. In Scrutinized, it's all about, there's like guys trying to get into your house, and you have to run around and like turn off lights if they're in there, and like shut windows to keep them out and stuff like that. It's really complicated, but that's just all turned off, and you just do the detective section.
That's cool. It kind of reminds me of you guys know the game Her? Is it Her Story? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I need to play that one too.
Yeah, that was a really interesting game to me. I never actually played it. I watched somebody play it, but honestly, that's all you really need.
Her Story is the one where you're going through like
you're going
videos
through
and like chat logs and stuff about suspect in like a murder case, right?
Yeah, basically, like you have to go through everything, see if it's like the whole thing is like, is this one person or is it two people, like twins? And like that's one thing that goes on. There's like it's based around a murder thing, and you have to find stuff in a database using keywords to try to get this all put together. I think that was a really cool thing, but obviously
I've heard of it, and if I enjoy the Scrutinized detective bit, I might go buy it and try that one too. That one I'll actually stream because it's the real game.
I mean, honestly, Her Story.
What, Jordan?
Oh, go on. No, Justin, say your thing first.
I was just going to say Her Story is not really that much of a game. It's more of just like a normal experience. Like you're just watching
like
videos. There's no end goal. Yeah, there's no end goal in this game, though. It's just you interpret it how you want to interpret it.
Yeah, I might not like it then, but we'll see. I'll look into it.
Yeah. The thing I was going to say is that, man, we're getting a lot of mileage out of the hack.
You got hacked.
Got hacked.
That's what you get.
We'll miss you. Did you get hacked?
There you go, Jake. It'll make it easier to edit.
No, well. Video ones can be just like this. I'm not taking anything out.
All right. So the thing I was going to say is we sure got a lot of mileage from the hacking minigame from Enter the Matrix. Did you guys ever do that? I know Jake did because we had that game. But
I
Justin,
love
that
game? It was so Enter the Matrix was like an action game where you played as one of two characters and you punched agents and shot people and ran around the Matrix. But there was a hacking minigame in the menu. And it was like...
The end of it was like Neo contacted you and like gave you like a secret message or something. It was really cool.
But it was crazy because it like give you commands for the computer and you had to actually type them in. And then it was like almost like real hacking. It was a very gamified version, obviously, but it wasn't like that Fallout 3 bullshit where you click things in the code. Or whatever.
I hated that. I hated that so much.
Yeah, you actually had to type in different commands for the computer to do, and it felt really cool, and it was super hard.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that hard, but it was hard for me as like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was hard or not. We were young back then.
Yeah.
But I like as well that hacking can just be like the crux of that game, and that's good enough for people. Obviously, he's not selling millions of copies as far as I know, but you know, there's an interest in it because I feel like that's something that hasn't really been done that well in games as far as like.
That's kind of the thing is I'm so excited to like get in and start playing it because I really like the dark web as this kind of because the dark web honestly, it's not that scary. If you go and actually look at it, it's like it's exactly like the regular net. It's exactly what you want it to be. If you go to forum sites, you can find people like posting illegal shit and stuff like that. But if you just navigate away from that, they're not like it's not that big of a deal. Just you would just use a VPN and stuff.
Do yourselves a favor and click off the incel forums. It's not worth going there.
Here's the other thing, though. There's not a lot of interesting stuff on the dark web because all the illegal shit that people post YouTube videos about, you can't find it. They don't want you to find their illegal activities.
Yeah, that's the whole
point. You'll report them. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the guy on YouTube who had a whole series about going on the dark web and finding like the not as illegal stuff.
Yeah,
you know it was probably the same guy who did Down the Rabbit Hole, or is it him?
No, it was. I'm pretty sure it's the gamer dude. Like Ordinary Gamer or something like that did a whole series.
Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah, he also whistle blew on Valorant and how their cheating stuff was stealing all your data, and then it totally wasn't.
I mean, it's I can understand.
Yeah, some
how
ordinary
it's
gamers.
suspicious.
Yeah, some ordinary gamer has a whole series about it. And the thing is, you can find some illegal stuff, like there's Silk Road that's been shut down at this point. But anyway, I've always liked the dark web as like a cool kind of like scary thing for like horror, and then I've just really never seen it done well in games at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my one issue with Welcome to the Game 2, of watching the speedruns of it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, even in a safe mode, that game looks halfway impossible to beat. Like all the garbage you have to go through and everything. I wouldn't be able to do it even in a safe mode, I don't think.
The game is really punishing, for sure.
And that's something that's kind of interesting that I was like, I got really into this game for a little bit. I was looking all around, and I found the creator's Twitter, and he was like lamenting that people seem more interested in watching the game than actually playing the game. And I'm like, dude, you made like a really hard game in a niche genre already. As much as people like horror, they don't like realistic dark web horror. That's not a big thing for the masses.
It's like, if you want a mass appeal, you gotta make Dead by Daylight, not Welcome to the Game, too.
Or even like, I think people look at FNAF and they're like, horror is super popular. And I'm like, look at who actually consumes Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. It's not horror fans. It's like 12-year-olds. And all of the new stuff is targeted at them.
Yeah, it's boo, scary jump scare, not really contemplative.
Yeah, not psychological
horror,
stuff.
Yeah. It's not getting kidnapped by people murdered on the dark web.
Yeah, I'm still glad that there's just like a niche for it, though. As at least we get new horror games, because it felt like for the longest time there were none.
Yeah.
And then there were the Amnesia clones, and that was it. So
I just feel like a lot of devs get this idea of like, this one thing's popular, so there's an audience for this thing that's I'm making. And it's like, you're not actually targeting the same audience. You're misconstruing what the market's doing.
And I can understand his frustration, because I'm sure he wants people to experience his game, because he put thousands of hours into it. But it's just like, go ahead. Jake, never mind.
I was gonna say, speaking of misconstruing markets, we can move on to our next topic. But if you have more stuff to say, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it's like, I feel like a lot of game devs do that, where they make this thing, and they have this idea of how it should be, but you do have to actually make a game that will resonate with people, and that's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's like dive onto itch.io sometime and find some of the better games, like, because obviously there's a lot of bullshit on there, but if you just dive into some of them, it's like people who have really good ideas but just no idea how to present them. And it's like, it takes a lot of effort, and it's like, he's not doing too badly at it if you find even an audience. As long as you can make money making those games, I don't see why he would complain.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't read the tweet. I don't know exactly how he worded it. Maybe it was just him being a little bit frustrated in the moment.
And that is the issue about Twitter, is like, you're so limited on how many characters you have and everything. He's just like, he probably just saw like the Markiplier playthrough with millions of views on it. He's like, I guess people like watching my game more than playing it. I only have 60,000 in sales. It's like, yeah, dude, the views, like, viewing a piece of content is always going to be easier than actually playing it. That's just the bare fact of it.
And viewing it is also free.
Yeah.
There's some people who would not have even engaged with that game if they had to pay to watch that Let's Play.
Agreed. On top of that, there is certain pieces of content that people might be interested in, but they're not able to get. People who, like you said, don't have money. But I remember hearing way back in the day on another podcast, Total Biscuits podcast, apparently The Witcher 3 was pirated a lot by people who were about 12 to 16.
I wonder why.
And the reason is probably because it has a lot of sex and nudity in it. And they didn't feel comfortable, going to their mom and be like, hey, can I have this Witcher game? And then she'd read the back of the box.
Yeah.
I think another issue with the audience is an issue I actually finally got fixed. was not very many. I mean, people own PCs, but I think the console market is a lot larger than the PC market, as in like people owning them.
Yeah, I think that there's more people with consoles, but I also think that the PC crowd is more willing to engage in communities. Consoles are really insular. You might have your Call of Duty friends who you play in your Xbox Live party.
Yeah.
But you might not go onto a forum and talk about a horror game that you bought on Xbox Live. You'll just kind of buy it and that's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
But like I was saying, talking about misconstruing market trends, Microsoft bought Bethesda for how much?
$7.5 billion.
Yeah, this is like the biggest piece of news this week, and basically the only one we all latched onto.
Yeah, you guys should talk about it first because I feel like mine will kind of kill the conversation.
So okay,
you have
Justin, you're the one who was most interested in talking about this. What?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was interested in talking about it. Mm-hmm. Sorry, but
whoa,
because Bethesda's not really my favorite game company. Usually, I play their games and get bored 30 minutes in. But like Doom is the only one that kept me in.
Well, I should say
Doom's
they own
great.
the company that made Doom.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about Bethesda as well. If you're talking about your Dishonored's, your Dooms, your
can redo stuff in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, games that I enjoy. I love Bethesda. I really do. Like the stuff they publish most of the way, because they didn't actually make Dishonored or Doom. Doom was made by id Software and published by Bethesda, and Dishonored was made by Arcane and published by Bethesda, but I think they own an amount of each of those companies. They're like... Anyway, I don't know the actual setup, but all the games that are Bethesda games that I like are either 20 years old, or they were actually made by other people.
Or they're published by Bethesda.
Yeah. And like, I guess now Microsoft has access to Arcane, for example, which I don't know what Arcane's working on right now, but I hope it's something like Dishonored so I can play more of that.
I actually never finished Dishonored or Dishonored 2. I've seen those games played a bunch because I used to watch people speedrun them, but I've never actually finished them all the way through.
I think it was Justin I was talking to, who I was like, you don't have to play Dishonored as a stealth game at all. Like,
yeah, you can go gung-ho in the game if you really feel like it.
Yeah. You're gonna... The reason I love that game is because if you do it in that way, you will get situations that are based on you going gung-ho, and you might have the storyline play out a little bit differently.
Yeah. Which is cool.
I love that. I also love the themes. I just that game. I need to go replay it. I was gonna speedrun it back in the day, and then...
Have you played Dishonored 2?
I haven't. I own it.
I never got around to it either.
And I kind of heard it wasn't as good as the first one, and then I never really picked it up. But there's 1.5 billion games like that. That was in my time when I was just like buying a bunch of games on Steam sales, and I would get caught up in one and drop another. And maybe I'll go back to it after October, because October I'm gonna be horror gaming it up.
Spookfest.
Yeah. I don't see it as that impactful of a buy though. Like $7 billion for...
It's impactful for the consoles. For PCs, nothing changes. But console-wise, now those people who own, Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls game or any Fallout game on PlayStation probably aren't going to get their next game.
No, I don't agree. There's I don't think it's gonna happen that Fallout 5 is gonna come out, or Elder Scrolls, is it 6 now? 6 will come out, and they won't try to get that PlayStation 4 money. It's possible though. It is.
It was
Microsoft was paying it. I mean, I know they own the company now, but I don't know necessarily that they'd be managing it that closely.
I mean, that's the thing.
You could think of. The other thing you can think of is if it is just a Nintendo exclusive thing, it's going to give people more incentive to buy the Series X and Game Pass.
You mean Xbox? You said Nintendo, but
Did I say Nintendo? Sorry. But yeah,
It's-
if it becomes a Microsoft exclusive franchise, like all of those, then whenever they're released, if they're Microsoft exclusive, it means it's on Game Pass day one, which is going to make people want to buy the Series X and Game Pass immediately because, hey, I can either get it on Steam for $70 probably because, of course,
Yeah.
or I can pay $15 a month or something like that and get all of the games as they release.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's going to be exclusive. But
yeah. And as long as I can buy it on PC, I don't really care. But the big one would be like Elder Scrolls 6. If Elder Scrolls 6 came out and it was PC and Xbox only, no PS5, that would be huge. That would be a game that could legitimately sell probably 1 million Xboxes. Like,
you guys, this means that the Skyrim remakes aren't coming to PS5. Fuck. God, I want to play that game for the 12th time.
As a side note, I'm really hoping Elder Scrolls 6 is good.
So,
yeah, hopefully they've learned some things.
Correct me if they've done this. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have they remade the original Doom yet in the new engine and everything like that?
No. Why would they ever
No,
do
they
that?
could.
Wouldn't that be awesome just to sell it for $10 on on the store, the OG Doom, but with new graphics?
It's probably unneeded because I guarantee you someone has made it for Doom Eternal because Doom and Doom Eternal have map editors.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yes.
I did not know that.
You can make like little adventures and stuff on.
On top of that, have you played the original Doom? Because it holds up, man. It's still fun.
It's fun. I love that game.
That's what I'm saying.
Brutal
like,
Doom's awesome too.
For the people who are like graphics, be like, hey, here you go. You got it with your pretty makeup on now.
Yeah, I don't think id cares.
Yeah, I think they realized that people who really want to go back and play that game will play it. I don't think they want to remake it.
It's kind of like how they could have made Quake's made by a different company, I think. I don't remember who made Quake. But they could have just made Quake Live or Quake 3 with better graphics, but instead they made Quake Champions where it has actual mechanical differences. And that's what game devs want to do. They want to make new things. They don't want to remake the old stuff for the most part.
Yeah.
Quake has had like 6 different developers, but like ID is the top one.
It
is.
Yeah. I thought whatever. Id did it, but I couldn't remember. I thought that was a different company. Anyway, they yeah. I just don't think I'd be excited for like a remaster of original Doom.
I would play it. It'd be fun. But
like
I've played original Doom before.
That's what I'm saying. Just like toss it out. Oh,
he's gone.
Bye, Jordan. It's a good talk. Hold on, I'll wait for Jordan. But that's why I mean, like, throw it out as like a $10 DLC or something. Just like, hey, here's OG Doom, but it looks better now.
I know that on Xbox and PS4 or 3 or whatever, I bought Classic Doom. They just released it.
Consoles?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, break our heart, Jordan.
Okay, so I'm not gonna break our heart. I'm gonna be very cynical.
Okay.
Here's the reality about Microsoft and buying companies. There are 2 things that can come from this, and I'm gonna shit on everyone who says there's anything besides 2 outcomes.
I'm guessing one word's rare.
No, yeah. So there's option A or option 1, which is they don't manage Bethesda at all. They just own them and profit off of them, and they don't try to micromanage them. This is the good one, because then Bethesda is able to no longer appeal to a large corporate entity like ZeniMax, who used to own them. And they maybe have a little more creative freedom, which may also be bad because a lot of Bethesda's recent games have sucked fucking dick. Anyway,
wonder how much of that is ZeniMax interference.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about ZeniMax as a company. And then there's option 2, which is they do micromanage the shit out of Bethesda because they want to make sure they get their money back. And if they do that, then with how Microsoft handles companies that they buy and don't understand why they were successful, Bethesda's probably going to die or drastically shift away from what it was. A la Rare, Skype. I think there's like 20 companies they've done this with, where they get successful, they buy them, they run them into the ground because they don't understand what made the companies successful. and then either it drastically changes or the company goes out of business.
I mean, Microsoft doesn't have to buy a company in order to run it into the ground and make it not successful. Just look at the Xbox brand.
That's true.
Hey guys, would you like
for a while.
used games? No? Okay.
Well, they fixed that.
They did, but
They-
just announcing it is the most boneheaded move I think I've heard of in 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, I understand the pushback against used games because they think that they're losing so much money, but really all they're doing is pushing people towards PCs. I think people just are like, I'm just gonna go use Steam then.
Well, and
I've seen so many people that are like, I'm done with consoles. They're such bullshit. I'm just gonna build a PC. It's the same fucking price.
this is something that I've run into looking at pre-orders for like the PS5. I'm never going to pre-order one. But I was looking at I'm like, the digital one's pretty cheap. But then I looked at my PS4 in my front room. I said, what do I actually do with that thing?
a
It's my Blu-ray player.
Yeah, that's my
I-
Xbox
I
right
don't
now.
I don't actually use it for games. There's no games on it that are exclusive. Even Horizon Zero Dawn, which was one of the big ones I wanted to play, it's now on Steam.
Yeah.
I can buy it right now. I haven't yet. I'm going to at some point. The only one I can think of that is actually a PS5 exclusive is Spider-Man, and I guess God of War.
Let's say, wouldn't God of War be?
That's
Yeah,
about
man.
it. But I haven't played a God of War yet. I've heard it's really good, but I wasn't like a God of War fan. So
Yeah,
I haven't really...
I
jumped
tried to
in
play
yet.
the original because I borrowed it from a friend, and then, well, actually, no, my friend just gave me his PS2 and all of his games because it was just gathering dust. I still have the PS2, and he gave me God of War, but the disc is so fucked that you can't play past the beginning.
And we could get the
So-
like remastered ones for PS4, but
I could do that. That's a
playing
good
that,
idea.
maybe I'm weird. Playing that game, it felt like a bad Devil May Cry.
Feels a little. I don't know. I had fun with it.
And maybe
Um,
the third one's better because that's supposed to be the really really good one. Is the third one?
I know God of War on the PS4 is first off a very different game, and secondly, it's
Yeah.
apparently phenomenal. Like you need to think of it more as like this is an RPG, more or less than what it used
Right.
to be, where it's like it's kind of like Devil May Cry.
No, I know that God of War 5 or 4
Yeah.
or whichever one it is, the one on
Seven,
the
if you count
PS4.
all of them.
Well, the thing is, people are saying that the next one, God of War Ragnarok, is God of War 5, which it technically is, the ones that are actually named that. So, anyway.
Yeah.
4 on the PS4, it actually looks like a game I might enjoy, but I'm still not, like, blown away. I'm not going to go drop my money on it right now.
Mhm.
I
You're
kind of
missing
realized
out.
about the PS5 until I see something like Persona
Until-
5 or...
Until they say that Elden Ring is going to be an exclusive to the PS5, I'm not buying one.
Yeah. Or, yeah, one of the FromSoft games, or,
I mean, I'm gonna have to buy a PS5 because I need to play Demon Souls.
Deltarune is a PS5 exclusive. I would buy it for that.
I'm gonna have to because Demon Souls is a PS5 exclusive. It's not coming to PC. I might wait a few months until they for sure say that's not, because they said Dark Souls is never coming to PC, and I was like, I don't know.
And
And
then,
then
it did.
guess what? They brought it to PC. It was
Did you
garbage,
guys-
and then they fixed it eventually.
Do you guys know that Doom Eternal's coming out on the Switch?
That's awesome. I did not know.
I think Doom 2016 came out on
Yes.
it was the
Yeah, it
Switch.
did.
Yeah.
I was just looking through all Bethesda's games, and it's like it's really strange to look at. They're like up until 2005, like when they started 2005, they basically only made sports games.
Yeah.
It's really weird to think about that. And now they're like this super like adventure / shooter franchise.
Yeah.
Or, so next question about purchasing places. Do you think somebody else some other big studio gets bought at some point, like close to now? Like Sony goes, we need to make a move here. Like I know Jake didn't want to see it, but I watched a video where where the person in the video is like, Sony's going to try and buy Capcom now.
Really? They went with Cap.
I-
I'm thinking you're talking about the Maximilian Dude video.
Yeah.
Because you linked this to
Yeah.
us.
If there was a company that I think would get bought out pretty soon, it's actually Konami. I think Konami is sitting on a huge amount of IPs. They aren't using any of them. They're surviving off of money from other things, and I think that if a big company was interested, they could easily buy out Konami.
That was the issue that he brought up.
I feel like they wouldn't buy Konami. They would just buy the IPs.
Konami won't sell them.
Why would you not sell them?
Because they make pachinko machines and slot machines of them.
And medical equipment.
My God. From what I've seen, by the way, that's not Konami. That's just like Japanese business, by the way. Is like, they just don't fucking give up. Anyway. They go hard over in Japan, apparently.
Even though they made good games recently, I'm like, man, I could see Square Enix being bought right soon.
Square Enix already has such a tight partnership with PlayStation. I guess you could buy them.
Like, they're going to go bankrupt like 4 years ago or something like that. Super recently, they were about to go bankrupt.
Then Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake came out, man.
Yeah, and then they hit a couple good ones where they're like, we need to get our act together. And then they got their act together, and now
what if
they're kind of back up there.
Because Nintendo doesn't own Platinum, do they? They just worked with them on Bayonetta 3.
They just funded everything.
I honestly could see that happening. I could really see Platinum getting bought out by Nintendo at that point. Then
I'd be so sad.
Not just because, like I would be a little bit too, but I don't think Nintendo's really interested in acquiring other studios because they already have their own, and then so it's like any first party things they want to make, they just make.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like they're just independent. Like they're not owned by anybody.
And I'm not really sure. See, this is the thing that why this was so surprising to me when I heard it is why. I understand you're probably going to make money, but like, why that specific studio? Why for that amount of cash? It just, I'm sure some industry insiders are like, yeah, this has been in the pipeline for months. You're all dumb for not knowing about it. But it's like, as casual consumer man, I don't have any clue what's going on.
I think it's got to be just them looking forward to their new Xbox coming out, and they've got to get something on it that people have to have the console for. They don't have anything on it that you have to have the console for. I understand. People really like Halo. People really like Gears of War. Not really anymore, but I'm sure there's some fans. But all of their games that they talk about as their exclusives, they aren't big anymore. Yeah. Halo is not this big FPS name anymore. The old ones are really great, and I still want the Master Chief Collection on Steam so that I can go back and play ODST and all the ones I really like.
I feel like Xbox has kind of fallen apart, not just because of that, but because of who they appeal to. Their audience doesn't really exist anymore. Well, they appeal to the core gamers, as in like, I like Call of Duty and Halo and I drink Mountain Dew. Like that. They were appealing to a stereotype, and it's like, that's not really what's popular anymore. The kids these days are playing Fortnite and Among Us and Fall Guys. Like, you can't.
Fall Guys kind of fell off, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you go look at what people are playing on Twitch, and you can't coast by on Halo and Call of Duty anymore. People are playing a 2-year-old fucking Werewolves ripoff right now. It's like, the stuff that trends right now is not a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. It's like these weird indie games that pop off for a couple of months.
And the thing is, like, things like Call of Duty still do well, but the reason why Call of Duty still does well is because every year it's bringing something a little bit new. It's not exactly the same as it was back in the day.
It's like, yeah. And the people that play Call of Duty, I guarantee you, are like late 20s to early 30s, because it's people our age.
Yeah, people who have been playing it for years.
Yeah, how it works, you release Call of Duty and go, all right, there's a guaranteed few million units sold right there, just because of the word Call of Duty on it.
Right. But the thing is, a lot of those fans, I think, they're old fans, right? Like,
yeah.
They might get someone like me with every other Call of Duty or something who I'm like, oh yeah, I can play Call of Duty. I'll buy it for $30 and play it for a bit. But for the most part, they're old fans. I think that what Microsoft needs is they need something to bring in new people. Their old fans are kind of gone. They've burned them too many times.
Yeah, I mean, they did get... never mind. I feel like they might actually do okay with this. Do you know why? Because they did buy Minecraft and they didn't fuck that up.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Although everything they tried to do past just leaving Minecraft as Minecraft kind of flopped. Like they did the Minecraft story mode, and Minecraft Dungeons is apparently good, so they got that going for them. That they got Mojang to make.
So
But it's just like, So I guess maybe it'd be okay, but Minecraft's kind of different. You can't really fuck up Minecraft. You just sort of let it be.
yeah, I don't want to be Mr. Pessimism, but I feel like at this point, how gaming's going is you just got to get lucky.
How do you mean? As far as
Like,
success?
like getting a game to come out or getting something to work. You just have to get lucky at this point.
Kind of.
I don't really agree. I don't think you have to be lucky. I think you have to have a product. This is just the basis of media. You have to have a product that people want. If you sit down and you go, I'm gonna roll out the same title from 5 years ago with a fresh kind of paint, people aren't in the space of like, oh, I have to have the newest thing anymore.
Yeah,
a lot of the big breakout successes are things that, I don't know, like Fortnite's a good example of like a game that there was appeal to this genre and they made it something that was something everyone could play. It looked good, it ran well, and it was simple to pick up.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about success. Haze so far, just based off the Twitch numbers, like I saw Co-Carnage playing it, was getting like 6K views. Like it's been a lot of big streamers are picking up because it's a really good game and getting a lot of attention. From what I've seen, it's been doing really, really well. That's kind of how Supergiant always is, though. They're one of my favorite game studios for that. It's like you don't have to get lucky. It's like Supergiant, their first game was a hit because they had a bunch of people who knew how to make good games. They made them beautiful and they put a lot of love into them, and they made a good game.
Yeah, I feel like if you just put out a quality product, like people will buy it. You don't have to get lucky. You just have to advertise it and put out an actually good product. There's so much junk in the gaming sphere right now. There's like those
there's so much junk everywhere with everything now. It's like
just media, right? Like
yeah, well, because the internet and modern advances have made it so easy to produce things. Everyone can be a creator now, like with just online tutorials and some simple downloads. So it's like there's just so much garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw the funniest thing. I don't want to get off topic here, but
yeah,
I was just going through Metacritic's top PC games of all time.
What was the funny thing?
Hey, speaking of garbage, we're on the internet.
Yeah. Number 1, Half-Life 2, it had a 96. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5 had a 96.
Motherfucker.
Number 3,
Grand Theft Auto.
Number 3, Out of the Park Baseball 2007, 96.
That's got to be 4chan memeing or something. Someone review brigaded that shit. There's no
the
way.
user score is 2.5.
Wait, is the critic score?
Yeah.
Can you go pull up one of the reviews?
Hold on. I'm sorry to, like I said, I didn't want to get off topic.
We're near the end of the podcast anyway.
We'll devote like 5 minutes to this because we already talked ourselves out about the other. Pull up one of the reviews. I want to see what they said about it. Like, is it like Citizen Kane, where it's the Citizen Kane of gaming?
Games 5. You have any interest in the guts of baseball? OOTP 2007 is simply a must-own product. It's a landmark achievement. It's weird to think about it. Took a London-based company known for its soccer management games, a German-born developer with a passion for the sports, to produce arguably the best and most complete simulation of America's pastime.
Is that the only critique?
No, that was one of the 100s. There's 3 100 reviews by, like I said, GameSpy, Operation Sports, and Game Shark.
When was this game released?
2007.
All right, I'm done.
It's just a perfect. I need to go.
Yeah.
Don't
PC
worry,
Gamer gave it a 92.
And I'm gonna go research this shit. I'm looking up. I'm finding this game.
The hell.
Joe B gave it a 1 and says this game is less fun than clipping my toenails.
Okay,
it's probably like Football Simulator or Football
It
Manager or
is.
whatever.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really like Football Simulator.
I own like the 2010 or 2020 version or something like that. just because it came with a other game I wanted.
Spoiler: it's really really kind of boring. You actually manage a football team. Imagine that.
A baseball.
If you enjoy
team,
managing things, it's great for you.
Well, football simulators, soccer if you're American, but football.
Soccer if you're normal. I'm kidding. I love you.
By the way, America, we need to change football.
Doesn't make
American football doesn't make any
never-
sense.
It's never changing.
You never use your feet. Fucking
It's
dumbass.
never gonna fucking change, unfortunately.
Dude, as a football fan, I barely care about football anymore.
Mhm.
Kicker was the best position. Fight me.
All right.
All right.
Well, anyone got anything cool coming out on their channels, or can I just tell them who you are?
I released a video 2 days ago.
He released a video on his YouTube channel.
I did. I've
It's-
been playing RuneScape. It's my passion now. I only do RuneScape always now. I'm kidding. I just like making Iron Man videos, so I made a Canter Locked Iron Man.
And
go check it
what's-
out. It's good.
What's your name? What's your YouTube channel, Jordan?
Oh, it's Is It Fox. We spell it different now. It's ISITFOX. Is it, as in like the question? Is it Fox?
It is Fox. And this
It
guy
is.
up here, he's dubious _ Justin everywhere, all over the
Yeah.
place. Twitch, Twitter,
Damn
YouTube,
right.
all those places.
I'm working on a Resident Evil. We brought it back around. Working on a
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 low kill guide.
Woo.
That low kill percent.
Yeah.
All right.
It's super fun to play the game wrong.
And I'm
Dude,
Jake.
I
I just
love
hang out
playing
here.
Halo.
Hi, Jake.
I don't really do anything else, honestly. This is all I do. I Twitch stream
Hey, Jake.
sometimes. If you want to come hang out. Could be doing
Jake.
a lot of horror games. That's right. I'm doing horror games for October.
Play them and review them. You must do it.
I might as well just be called Dan's Game.
Well, I mean,
Thinking
Dan's
of horror
Gaming doesn't
games.
do the horror marathon anymore, so someone's got to do it.
Oh, maybe I should.
Thinking of horror games. October 1st. I don't know if Jordan's doing it, but I'm still doing the Crash Bandicoot stuff. Playing all the
How
Insane
much
Trilogy.
time do I have? I've got like
October
a week.
1st.
I mean, I'll play with you, but I didn't practice for the no kill percentage. I was too busy working on my other content. I'm sorry.
Shocking.
It was
And-
such a good idea.
And I will be there in the Discord making fun of you both. And we've been in the Unbanned podcast. If you like this show, go to patreon.com/unbannedcast. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can also just subscribe to, support us. That's fine too. Just hit the subscribe button right now. Do it. I'll find you
Do it.
on Among Us.
Re.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day, night,
Bye.
morning,
Bye, everyone.
whatever. See ya.